Hello, it's Oren Prunken, and today I want to talk to you about why customers buy products but then never use or consume them. I'm going to give you a backstory to this. So last week my father called me up and said, hey, I've got this really interesting letter to show you, and that was enough of a hook for me to go around to his house a bit later on and find out what he was talking about. So back in the 90s, my dad wrote a lot of books. He actually writes a lot of books currently. He also produced software back in the 90s. And he sold a software product via his website in the 90s. And I'm not going to give you the context of what the software is about, but someone bought this software by sending him a bank check. So he did what most vendors did, was go bank the bank check and then post and fulfill on that order. Now what happened, it was an international order. He lives in Australia and he posted it off to the USA, and then eventually months later the product got posted back to him. You're probably thinking, why is software getting posted back to him? Yes, it was software that was in the format of old floppy disks, so you physically had to ship it out then. When it got returned, he then tried to contact the customer through all of the contact details the customer gave, but could never get into contact with the customer. Years later, he was going through all his files, so 20 years later, 2019, going through all his files, and he found the purchase order from this customer. And the internet has come a long way in terms of how much information is distributed on it. He was able to then go and look up this address, and sure enough, he was able to locate this customer. The customer was a very interesting organization, but he wasn't able to go any further with that. But none of that is the point of this story. The point of this story is, many times this has also happened to me as a vendor. I have sold products, and because of tracking codes and things like that, I know that customers have never either used or consumed that product that I have sold. So they've bought it, never used it. They've paid me the money, but they've never asked for a refund or their money back. They've got value from it, but they've never used it. So how could that be? How could someone get value from something but never use it? Now, on the flip side, myself as a consumer, I've also purchased products but never used them. And the classic example that a lot of people can relate to is you buy some clothes perhaps, but you then don't even take the labels off the clothes. You just hang them in your wardrobe and never wear them out. They've been in there for years with the tags on them. Then people go and donate them eventually, years and years later, to the Goodwill or the Salvation Army. So why does this happen? So you've got to go back and think about the customer journey and what's going on in the customer's mind. So they become aware of a problem that they have, and then they want to go and solve that, and then they go and find a whole bunch of solutions that are potential answers to that problem, and then they finally select the right product that they think is the best that will solve their problem, and then they go and make a purchasing decision. Now what is interesting that happens now is, even though they have that product, they don't need to go use it or consume it to apply to that problem. In the back of their head, what they're thinking is, I have already solved it. Even if they haven't, they have got the ace up their sleeves just in case the problem gets bigger or gets agitated even more. They have this solution that they can then apply ASAP because it's in their possession. They don't need to go and apply it, but if the problem gets bigger, then they have the opportunity to go and apply it. They don't need to go through that whole sales journey again of working out if they have a problem, what the solutions are, which is the best problem, and then go and buying it. They've skipped all that, and they've got that ace up their sleeve just in case they need to do it. Now that is the thinking and the rationale, usually and mostly subconscious, a subconscious decision that customers are making. They don't actually need to go and use or consume the product. Just the purchase and purchasing of it satisfies solving that need, even though logically it makes no sense. You do it, I do it, everyone does it, and that's the reason why customers buy products but never use and consume them. So if you are wondering why you're getting purchases but people aren't using or consuming your product, this is the reason why. Now I'm not going to go into how you can get customers to use and consume the product. That's probably a episode for another time, but hopefully this gives you some insight into why that is the case. So until we talk next time, I hope you have a fantastic day, and goodbye.
Thanks for listening, and if you like what was on here and want more, please go to orenprunken.com.